love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
What the fuck was that? That was her acceptance speech for something. All right, so I was saying before, like, first of all, everything about Billie Eilish, aside from her music, is like very lazy. All right, like she represents like the the low effort, like the average low effort woman that still is demanding a lot of respect, all right, like a lot of consideration, and still has a laundry list of things that you need to be doing. Like this is the kind of girl who loves to do the overcorrection. Because one of the reasons why, like, I think women like this era of, how can I say, pretty much where we are like politically. I think we're kind of coming out of it, but Billie Eilish kind of represents that era that women, I think, really indulged in a lot or really enjoyed a lot, which is the era where you can always, no matter who you are or what you have going on or what you look like, you can always call a man out and correct the man and say, no, this is how it goes. Now I know we've never spoken about this shit before, but I'm gonna come at you aggressively, and I want to bully you for not knowing about this imaginary rule, or not being educated on everything at all times. Like, for example, right? I'm gonna shoot him some bail. Me personally, I did not know that Liberia and on the African continent was English speaking African country. Now, right? Okay, but I'm gonna make this point, right? So when Donald Trump had met, I guess, one of the officials from Liberia, he said, because again, I'm listening to this guy talk. His English is very good, and me personally, I'm always super impressed by someone who speaks English who's not from here, because I don't speak any other languages. So for me, that's impressive. And the average person in the United States, we don't speak multiple languages. A lot of us are not bilingual unless we're first generation American. That's like the only time, right? So me personally, I wasn't educated on that. I did not know that Liberia was an English speaking country. But also, I had to ask another question: how would people know that unless they know Liberian people or have been in Liberia? Like, why and how would someone know that shit? And I think at times we can get caught up in the activity of something, and especially when it's in the activity of putting someone in a position where they have to listen to you. Especially when it's in the vein of, yo, for the most part, being able to dominate someone else, even if it's just for a brief moment and correction. But you got to realize women love to go about insulting you or attacking you in ways that aren't physical, right? To the point where you feel like you can't really have a lot of interactions with modern women, especially like young women, without a little bit of this like kiss my ass type of mentality or this like rebellious mentality. Like I was talking to my cousin some time ago, and I think she had made something that was really good. So I think I made a comment about like, yeah, that basically in so many words what I was saying was, yo, this is gonna make you really attractive to the guy you like. These are the kind of things that when you meet a guy, it's gonna make him like you more. And again, where she's at mentally, and again, CJ always talks about this shit about how women are putting off marriage and relationships in terms of what they think the timeline is. A lot of these young women, they think that they can go be an old mom and that it's better to be an old mom. Ma'am, your body is broken down. Like the way y'all are designed, not that you're going to die after 25, but it's downhill after 25. I mean, it's downhill like metabolically and hormone wise for men too, right? But men are not saying, you know what, I'm going to wait until my 30s to try out for the NBA. I'm gonna wait till my 30s to get in really good shape for the NBA. Or that would be like dudes saying in general, I'm gonna start saving and getting serious about life in my 30s. I'm gonna wait like, you know what? No, that's like a nigga saying, imagine if men encourage young men not to try to go to school, not to try to join the military or do any kind of trade school between 18 and 25, or at least start it between 18 and 25. Imagine if the men just say, you know what? Bro, fuck all that. Have fun. Bang as many chicks as you can for free while it's still free. You understand? Listen, you only live once. Go to goddamn Tibet, okay? Go have tea with the monks, all right? Shave your head. Go backpacking through Europe. Go find one of them colonies, one of those compounds where anything goes. Be a part of a cult for a little bit. Listen, all this shit gonna be here when you come back. So when you 34, 35, then you can start going to school. Because listen, people always say that you're a better student when you're older. Like, know how many people went to school and started school in their 30s or when they were older and they were much better students? So you can go to college at any age. That's the kind of encouragement young women get. So I brought it up because I'm like, damn, now mind you, my cousin is around this girl's age and they're in the same generation. So it also spoke to like, you now kind of understanding for one how shit works and where you fit in the grand scheme of things. Like this whole government shutdown with the food stamps, that should be an awakening and a wake-up call for a lot of women, right? And people in general, right? But a lot of women are affected by it because you see mostly women speaking on the EBT thing online, right? Whether honestly, keep it stacked with you. A lot of that shit is bullshit. Be real with you. A lot of people are just making fake content and they just lying to y'all. But anywho, but the point being is, some dudes probably they may actually think that this is going to change something. That's not what's going to happen. You got to realize we are too far gone with how women have changed and how the world has changed. And you would think that with this going on, because there are going to be some people who don't have no way of getting no food. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what, the best strategy for everyone, especially for women, men can be by themselves. Men can kind of make it on their own because men are going to have long-term thinking to not buy things they can't afford. Whereas when women are on their own, you just be taking all kinds of L's, bro. Taking all kinds of L's. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off on too many different tangents. But I'm kind of speaking to is like kind of who Billie Eilish kind of represents, like aesthetically and just attitude wise. Just his whole demeanor, even like how she's dressed to come get this award. What the fuck is she wearing? Because, I mean, she represents that archetype of woman where it's like, I know I'm supposed to try to look as pretty as possible. I know I should have a nice body because I am a mainstream singer. She's not no underground chick. All right? Like, but again, I guess that's a part of her appeal. I guess it'll be weird at this point. But this kind of person. But not only that, we got to realize that the same way that y'all don't want to see, or at least you should want to see, young men looking up to a guy that's a coward or a guy that's not manly at all, y'all really shouldn't want y'all daughters and young women to look up to this kind of girl because they would think that they can go present this way in the world. Not only that, even the statement she made. Let's play it one more time.
Love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you.
The fuck you talking about? Like, she didn't thank anybody for the award. She said, I'm happy to be here and everything. And again, I really think she just was being awkward and didn't know what to say. Or I'm sure they told you she was going to win the award. You should definitely have some kind of speech prepared. I'm not sure what happened, but just the fact that you actually said that. And when she said that, you got to realize that it's so many different things that are on display when she makes that statement. Okay, so I had a few notes here, man. So many different things are on display when she makes that statement about like, why are you a billionaire? And I think again, it was more so. I think it's almost like she feels as though she has to kind of. You'll also see women sometimes kind of go into like auto feminist mode or auto leftist mode, and I hate to use those labels. It's just so you can understand what I'm talking about. But they do these things, but they say, you know what? I have to go and do like a trope. So I have to do a leftist trope, which is which is this whole concept of it's a negative thing for one person or one entity to have a lot of money, rather than looking at it as, wow, they were able to build that. What can I build of my own? See that right there? That's how men are supposed to think. When men see someone that has power or someone has power over you, you should be thinking, what can I learn from it? Like I've been saying, I don't get mad. I think this is a motivation. Like black men seeing how much black women see white men as like as their ultimate fantasy and their ultimate option or whatnot. What black men should be learning from that is like, yo, all right, well, we have all the tools, we have the intelligence, we have the looks, we have the fashion sense, we have the this pretty much the charisma, all that shit. All we need is the confidence and the infrastructure. Because once the world starts seeing that we're able to amass some more power as a whole, it can change our image. But the thing is that black men have to decide as a whole, are we going to change our image as a whole? Because the thing is that whether they right or wrong, women will always get on code with each other and defend. A woman, every man who's watching this can attest to this. You could be bringing up, let's say, a story with a woman, right? And you could be discussing it with a woman. Or let's say it's a personal experience. Matter of fact, fuck it. I've experienced, and again, I don't think she means to make things not good for me, but like I've had conversations with my mother about my ex, and like I think without even not realize that you're not supporting me. You're making up excuses for this person. Like, because what people will do, especially women will do, is they will conflate, basically they'll conflate things, which means to try to make two things that are not related connect. Like, for example, like the thing with the brick lady, when you go to her, excuse me, her Instagram, she has a video about the 50-50 argument, right? First she says, that's like, someone asking you, in so many words, she starts talking about the years and years of unpaid labor, and which is based on the argument of the things that women do for a family and everything. If they were an actual professional, or let's say they were actual maid, how much they would have gotten paid. So that's pretty much like, it's like unpaid wages. And again, even with that, men don't realize that's women telling you, fam, this is a business. Okay, I'm looking at this shit down to the dollar amount, but that's based on that argument. That she conflates that with like pretty much like equality and quote unquote women's rights, and she mixes all this together. And then at the end of it says, you know what I'm saying, all these systems have oppressed us, let's go 50-50 and burn this thing down. It's a confusing fucking video. But again, if you're a woman that's scrolling through TikTok and Instagram and you see a video like that, because again, prawn has its place in content. People who can talk about the things you want to hear about and talk about it in the ways you want to hear, that's very valuable. All right. But anyway, but I bring it up because I'm talking about the communication and the unclear train of thought. And not only that, how it pretty much kind of provides like further confusion. Right. But anyway, I also want to speak to her saying, you're a billionaire. Why are you a billionaire? I always talk about this shit. When I was younger, I used to feel as though this lady was a genius and she was very smart. And I don't think she's unintelligent or nothing like that, but this is my college professor. And at the time, I didn't realize that, again, she was teaching me how to be broke. She was teaching me how to think. Listen, poverty is a whole mindset, bro. Everything is a mindset. And I keep telling y'all, everything is a spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, poverty is a mindset. I'll never forget her saying that. Now, mind you, I believe we were studying Coca-Cola's I want to say strongholds, basically property that they own in different countries. And I guess the story was about them using the people's water supply for making a product and whatnot. This is like a long time. It's like back in 2009, right? And she made a statement about no person or no entity can amass a lot of wealth or become very rich without stealing from or taking from other people. And what she was teaching us was, if you have money and resources, because basically that stops the person that's listening to her talk, that stops them from thinking about how to make $1 million. Listen, ponder on that for a quick second. I'm gonna give you a second. Hold on. I'm gonna sip my coffee. You can ponder that real quick. How can you make $1 million if you never even thought about it? You never even thought about, okay, how is that possible? I think about making $1 million all the fucking time. Also because I need to. This shit is getting crazy out here. This is getting crazy. I'm like, I'm not finna be out here. I'm about to use all my talents, boy. I don't know if y'all been watching my content lately. Boy, I've been cooking. I have been performing this shit here. You understand? But anywho, see, she was indoctrinating us to be broke niggas. And even when I think about like her whole presentation, like she dressed like a super duper feminist. The kind of like, yo, I'm not trying to look fine at all. Okay. And her husband, shout out to him. I mean, for the most part, a nice guy, but in hindsight now, like, he was a real like Cornell West bow tie wearing nigga. You know what I mean? And no way he was teaching me how to be a scared nigga. Okay. I never forget when I had needed to get into this class, and they would think, well, this is a matter of just maybe some confusion or whatnot. But basically, the professor I'm talking about, she was his wife, and in so many words, she thought I lied to her about why I needed her to like co-sign. Basically, she was going to help me get into this class, and I believe I wasn't able to get into the class because I didn't have a prerequisite, and that's why I couldn't get into it. So I think so. She was going to help me get into the class, but I didn't have the prerequisite to even go into the class. So I think maybe I didn't explain it to the professor, or I don't know what happened, but somehow she took it as I was trying to manipulate her. I'm like, I'm trying to manipulate you into getting into a fucking college class. How was even if that was the case, right? How would that be a negative thing for me to try to do my best to get into a class? It's fucking school. Like what? What? Huh? Oh, that was so confusing, which is why. And again, this is a long time ago. But anyway, long story short, I need a letter of recommendation, and I asked the guy, and basically, in so many words, he was saying that I needed to go make things right with his wife. I had to go talk to his wife for him to give me a letter of recommendation. Never in the history of me being me would my wife be telling me I can't give this young man or make me feel weird about giving this young man a recommendation. Not only that, what did she tell you to make you think that you gotta go tell me that I gotta go talk to your wife? And he didn't even realize how weird it made him look. So this is a different time. All right. It is my dream. It is my hope. At that weak ass way of thinking dies with him. I'm gonna tell you one other thing that he taught me. He taught me how to be a scared nigga. This nigga said, now mind you, they lived over there near Montclair. He said, if I walk by a restaurant and I don't see any black folks in there, I don't go in there. And again, he's someone, nice guy, right? But he's more of a talker. Like if you ever seen Cornell West talk, he talk like Cornell West cousin. You know what I mean? Or he talk and move like Cornell West homeboy. You know what I mean? He one of them boomer ass niggas. You know what I mean? One of those niggas that hide behind his glasses and shit like that. A whole lot of blazers with elbow pads. I hope these theatrics do anything for y'all. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Let me. Oh, hold on. Turn it up. Turn it up. You know what I'm saying? Hold on.
So everybody go get your rap on.
Get your rap on, nigga. But anyway, so Greg Cardone actually came through and hit Beloved with the ether. Let's go ahead and find that real quick. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Where's that comment at? Because he asked a very, very important question, and I think that it needs to be highlighted. Where is that shit at? Here we go. Let's go, Grant. Let's go, champ. Hold on. All right, Grant, we're going to see where you at, my boy. Okay. Ladies, listen. Grant Cardone said... Nah, fuck that. Listen.
A decent man from this.
Grant Cardone is the decent man in the episode. Let's get it.
Yeah, demons. Niggas be scheming. Niggas be shooting.
Come on, man. Let's do it again.
I'm a decent man from the city of demons. Niggas be scheming.
Niggas be shooting. And Grant Cardone is shooting at you, Billie Eilish. Let's go ahead and make this John big. Pause. He says, hey, Billie. Big fan here. I noticed you're playing in New Orleans next week. Now he missed the E, but it's all good. He wrote the shot out of passion. One of the poorest cities in the USA. And he said the lowest price seats. is $129. Why not make all seats free? And I'm gonna clarify what's going on here. Now again, she says, if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. The fuck, listen. Let's be very clear. She's not talking to women. She's talking to men. This is reason 1098 of why men who actually are out here getting it, men who got something to lose, men who want to enjoy life, basically niggas who in their lifetime can make over 90K. If he can make over 90K, yo, they is not trying to marry none of y'all broads, man. All right, this is the cash that mindset, right? Never in the history of women, don't get me wrong, never in the history of women have women actually been able to openly ask for money in so many different ways. There's so many different ways she can ask for money. She can ask for money for subscribe to her OnlyFans, right? If she do social media, you know what I mean? She has an Amazon wish list. You understand? If you listen, this is really a thing. Regular women who like look good and whatnot, they will put an Amazon. There is a list where you can go to their registry and buy them things off of Amazon. Okay, like these women have found the way to outsource. Well, not really women. It's like a select few. But anyway, Grant Cardone made an interesting point. But again, that's not going to happen. Whenever, and again, this also enforces the fact that women know what gender roles are and they know when it benefits them, right? In her mind, she wasn't thinking about. No, I'm not gonna put it like that. I'm gonna put it like this. At the end of the day, when men accomplish great things, yo, you are always gonna be punished for it. You're always gonna have someone who feels as though like, the more popping you become, the bigger you become, the more people kind of just take for granted what you give. You know what I mean? To the point where they feel as though it's like you become an ocean. It's like you become your own ocean, and people look at you like an ocean, and they never think, well, the ocean's gonna run out of water. And to a certain degree, like, well, I guess it can, right? But anywho, so Billie Eilish, you had 24 hours to respond. Real talk. Listen, if you want the billionaires to give away some money, right, you can definitely give away some of them seats, especially in New Orleans. My nigga, that's New Orleans. New Orleans has moist grass. Y'all know that New Orleans is one of the fewest cities in the world. I'm sorry, one of the only cities in the world that is basically like at sea level. Like you can't bury people in New Orleans. I heard you cannot bury people in New Orleans because the ground is too fucking moist. That's crazy. That's a wild concept. It's a wild concept. And you selling tickets for at the lowest $129. Man, you know what? Fuck that shit. You know what?
Bitch, I ain't never been happy.
You know what I mean? All right, man. What's the next thing we got? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Let's get into this nigga right here, man. This young man right here. I swear, yo, the arrogance of black men, okay, it's just unrivaled, right? And whoever wrote this shit,